Well, all is forgiven, Blaze Alexander. If you keep robbing home runs like that, you can steal whatever you want from this office. We're talking about Blaze and Jordan Lawlar being the keys to the Diamondbacks' hopes to make the postseason, for better or for worse. Don't you guys go anywhere. We're starting in 30 seconds. Welcome in to another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast, live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. Thrilled to have you guys here. Thrilled to be discussing about an Arizona Diamondbacks team, quite frankly, that is still relevant here 8 days into the month of September. I'm surprised. You should be surprised. We're all surprised. Damon Dog is surprised. He is on the ones and twos today, as always. He's had himself a pretty rigorous work week, so we're going to take it easy on him, chat. All right, let's not attack Damon Dog. He's worked, 8 days in a row now? He's going straight for the record. He just doesn't want to. He just can't get enough. He can't get enough of this place.
Don't attack being here. Don't attack me for your own sake, because in moments like this,
he's on one.
It's not as That's I get reinvigorated by it. Like you will lose this argument.
He's powered and fueled by hate at this point, and it's he's thriving.
The dark side of the force.
He's thriving. Great to see you guys here. Good morning to you, Ryan. Hello, Zabe. A ski to you, Groundhog Mama. Great to have you guys here with us. Of course, this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to go download that Bet365 app right now. Use that code of PHNX365 when you sign up. You can get down on all sorts of fun sports betting, with football being back and obviously the tail end of baseball being here with the postseason on the horizon. Also over at Game Time, speaking of baseball and other sports that are hanging around right now, get yourself some cheap tickets last minute over at Game Time. Use our code of PHNX. You'll get $20 off. We are very excited not only to talk about the series results here after the Diamondbacks win another series, this one against the Boston Red Sox, but we're also excited to launch our supporters club right here on our PHNX YouTube channel. All you got to do is sign up on our YouTube channel for $5 a month. And of course, this helps support PHNX directly. You get a badge, a nifty badge, and that we're working on some fun stuff that'll come up next to your name. Your badges update over time, Damon, based on how long you've been a member of our supporters club. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months.
But we're going to have some like founding supporter club membership badges. So you want to get on that early. Right. But also I got to brainstorm with you, Derek. What are some of the badges for PHNX Dbacks related stuff that we could maybe put out there? I mean, obviously we have Jesse Jr., I think Ski is a
we
must.
Need to drop some skis in the chat.
It's an absolute must.
It's an absolute cactus lights. Light up the cactus light in the chat.
Yes.
Cactus lights a go. All right.
A cactus light that's like shaped like the outline like that would be unreal.
Yeah, that would be great stuff. So of course, make sure to keep an eye out for that. Get down on it if you are interested. If you do super chats, we appreciate the super chats. This is a very similar concept. So if you want to drop that $5 a month, that is going to get you access to all sorts of fun stuff, all sorts of fun emoticons. Is that what they call them? Emoticons? I don't know. I'm old.
So the kids are calling them, Derek.
That's what the kids are calling them these days? We used to call them emojis back in my day, but what do I know? I do know that the Diamondbacks did once again win a series here. They take 2 out of 3 against the Boston Red Sox, and were absolutely in line to complete the S word, and did not complete the S word in classic 2025 Diamondbacks fashion. They did go 4-2 in this homestand, and I know things aren't happening fast enough for those of us that would like this to move a little quicker, for them to make up ground a little faster, but at least things are moving in the right direction. Their offense continues to cook early. They have produced 1 or more run within the first 3 innings in 4 straight games. And the Diamondbacks starting pitching in this series overall lately has just been outstanding. Outstanding. Basically a triple replicated performance in this series. You had 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 innings, 1 earned run. That is our starters line for this series. They did an excellent job. Diamondbacks starting pitchers have quality starts in 6 straight games, 8 of their last 9 games, and 9 of their last 11 games. As you can see here with the count presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union, the Diamondbacks outscored the Red Sox in this series 19-13. Not a lot of home runs hit. And quite frankly, Damon Dog, some of the ones that were hit on both sides were robbed by some incredible defensive play during this series, including our boy, known criminal Blaze Alexander, making one of the greatest catches in Diamondbacks history. My dog, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe what an amazing.
He is a criminal.
He is a criminal. He literally, that's his name. He's the criminal Blaze Alexander. I mean, I still like Blaze Alexander Slamilton. That's still going to be out there as well, but he is a criminal and he steals home runs.
We need to make a meme of him with like a Hamburglar mask on and like a striped white and black shirt.
It is. He will steal from you. It's proven. And he was so blatant about it, even sending. He didn't even bother to like blur his face or anything on that video. He just straight up just sent it and talked, made demands, and he got what he wanted. I blame the sugar. If you really want to know why Blaze Alexander is playing so well, I definitely blame the sugar. But again, let's take a look at that graphic from this series because the home runs weren't the only thing that weren't really being hit. You also had the Arizona Diamondbacks starting pitching not giving up a lot of runs, putting up a 1.50 ERA in this series. The Red Sox 6.43 for their starting pitching. Meanwhile, their bullpen that is normally excellent puts up a 5.73 ERA. Diamondbacks bullpen tried their best to be as bad as it could be. 8 ERA in the series, and again, some costly mistakes definitely led to yesterday's loss. But some poor performances there, including our guy Rashi. As much as we did want to throw that meme up there, unfortunately, he did not get the job done in his inning of work in the finale. And it just was a weird game 3 there. By the way, per our guy Jack Summers over at Snake Territory and SI, Ryan Nelson now leads the majors in wins lost with 7. That is when a pitcher leaves the game in line for the win and the team blows the lead. So that's happened to Ryan Nelson now 7 times. Ryan Nelson, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He was not the problem in this game. The defense was a little bit of the problem with a 3-run lead in the 7th inning. The young snakes, the snakelets? The snakelets? Snakelets is a word. That is a baby snake. They made a pile of mistakes that led to the Dbacks losing this game. And you could say it was kind of all of them except Blaze. Blaze can do no wrong. But tea time, Ryan Thompson had Trevor Story picked off there after putting him on base. He hit him with a pitch and then had him picked off. So almost reversed his error. But Tyler Locklear's throw over to Perdomo at second was late, and Story ends up at second safe. And Torrey, after the game, kind of blamed that for being the catalyst that turned this game around. I don't know. Yes, it did shift things in the Red Sox's favor. But I do not know if ultimately that was going to be what cost them the game, considering, once again, how poorly the Diamondbacks bullpen did in the 9th inning, which gave up more runs and allowed the Red Sox to really run away with this game by a score of 7-4 when it was tied up going into the 9th inning. But Lawlar couldn't come up with a grounder. There was a couple of misplays, obviously, by Lawlar that really just made everything kind of fall apart. Couldn't come up with a grounder that he should have made a play on. Then he also made a 2-out throwing error that allowed a pair of runs to score and gave the Sox a 4-3 lead at that point. The Diamondbacks came back in the bottom of the 8th and tied it up at 4, thanks to Jordan Lawlar coming back with an RBI single. So it was kind of nice to see him pick the team up and do what he can to overcome that mistake. But then the bullpen coughs up 3 more runs in the top of the 9th inning, and that would give the Red Sox the game. You just really felt like that one was within the Diamondbacks' grasp. You felt like they really had it there late, and it really slipped away, like I said, in classic Arizona Diamondbacks, 2025 Arizona Diamondbacks fashion. But it would have been a great opportunity considering that the Mets did lose. The Diamondbacks could have been 3.5 games back as we sit here, but it does feel like they just can't get the job done sometimes when it comes to those sweeping those series. The Diamondbacks actually don't get swept very often either. So they do manage to avoid the sweeps, but they also don't get the job done when it comes to sweeping teams. But of course, Blaze Alexander, incredible in this series defensively. We're going to have questions about it in our mailbag inevitably, but he has done an excellent job. If not, you could probably argue a better job than you could have imagined, replacing Lourdes Gurriel in left field, and could be a left fielder for this team for the foreseeable future. I don't think a lot of people would be against that, considering what we saw him do in this series defensively, not only with his arm, but with his ability to jump up there and rob a home run, right? So he's also reached base safely in 12 of his last 16 games, hitting .255 with an .853 OPS. He has 3 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 10 RBI, and 8 walks. Trippers is what we should call home runs, is what we should really call them. But he's recorded an RBI.
Round trippers, baby.
Round trippers. He has recorded an RBI in 4 of his last 6 games and has 6 in his last 11 games. So Blaze has been just contributing nicely at the plate. Jordan Lawlar has been really hitting the ball well. He recorded his 2nd career stolen base and his first since September 9th, 2023 at the Cubs. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. But you do feel like Lawlar did make some mistakes in this game that ended up costing the Diamondbacks the win. And that's part of this whole experience for a lot of these guys. And that includes the young bullpen arms that the Diamondbacks have already put into high leverage situations. So we can't have both things, right? We can't have the youth movement start and giving these guys major league experience and not with that, I guess, position, also not expect mistakes to be made. These guys are going to make mistakes, but it's for the best. It's just unfortunate because the Diamondbacks are back in the race, and you can definitely feel like this team right now doesn't want to do what we were discussing, which is like start, developing players since their season is over. They don't feel like their season is over, nor should they, with the way things have gone. The teams ahead of them have not played very good baseball, including in our own division, especially the Dodgers. They just snapped like a 5-game losing streak, and they have not been very good lately. And that same could be said about the Mets and a few of the teams in front of the Diamondbacks in the wild card race. So it's going to be both of these things at times, But let's take a look now at the drunken orgy of violence that we call the NL West, because again, the Dodgers didn't get exactly run away with things. I think they are 80-64. I'm not sure. I thought they got their 80th win, but
no,
anyway,
they're 79-64.
79. Good. I don't want them to get to 80.
No, that's classic Derek trying to give the Dodgers a little bit extra wins.
No, you're right. That is such a me move.
I'm pretty sure the Dodgers have clinched the playoffs already, guys.
Yeah, pretty sure. No, they have not, and they've been playing terribly. Padres, they are one back in the division at 78-65. They are very close to catching the Dodgers once again. They are 2 games up in the wild card. They have the 2nd wild card spot as of today. The New York Mets have the 3rd wild card spot. Diamondbacks currently sit 4.5 games back at 72-72. They are 7.5 games back in the division, 4.5 games back in the wild card. Meanwhile, the Giants sit just ahead of them at 72-71. They are 7 back in the division, 4 back in the wild card. The Diamondbacks right now start a 3-game series with the Giants and then have another 3-game series with the Giants. This is the playoffs. The playoffs start now, Damon. There is no tomorrow. The Diamondbacks just have to win. And when I say win, they have to win every series. They have to win the series with the Giants. They have to go on to win the series with the Twins. As Scott says, no more SWEP talk. Yes, no more S-word talk. However, the Twins are a team that would be a great opportunity to take advantage of, the one team that they have remaining on their schedule that has a sub 500 record. That's it. Just the Twins. After this, it gets nasty. So far, the Diamondbacks have proven that they can play when these games matter and when these teams are tough opponents. They have done that so far this month. We have talked time and time again about how daunting this schedule is and that the Diamondbacks have the hardest strength of schedule for the month of September, for the remaining schedule. So far, they've done a good job of staying in it and playing good baseball. Big part of that is going to be Blaze Alexander and Jordan Lawlar. Those two guys single-handedly can have a huge role in dictating if this team makes the postseason or not. There's no doubt in my mind, and I mean that in every way you can imagine. I mean that based on the fact that the Diamondbacks need them to step up, and they also need them to not make the mistakes that we saw there in the series finale. That kind of stuff can't happen. And based on Torey Lovullo's comments after the game, he was very frustrated. He was not happy with the way things went. This team has been blessed so far, as of late, of playing some very good defense, and that defense is the reason why they have been winning these baseball games. You could attribute you could say the starting pitching has been good, but the defense behind the starting pitching has been good, which allows the starting pitching to thrive. Early on in the season, April, when they were making some of those terrible defensive mistakes, that's a big reason why I think the starting pitching got off track. And I'm sure a lot of starting pitchers don't want to throw their team under the bus, but deep down inside would probably tell you, yeah, there's nothing more deflating than thinking you're out of the inning here on a 2-out grounder and Perdomo botches it. And now, the inning extends and we have more run scoring, more pitches being thrown, and just not having a great time any longer. So the Diamondbacks definitely have some tough opponents, but they, again, have been playing good baseball. So they have a chance to beat these guys, stay in it, stay relevant, and make this fun. All we need is the teams in front of us to kind of struggle. And those teams have their own worries as well. Sometimes it's much easier to be the team running up from behind than the team that feels that pressure, creeping up on you. And the Diamondbacks are doing a great job at applying that pressure. The Red Sox manager, Alex Cora, was very complimentary after this series, talking about how tough this Diamondbacks team is and how much they are going to be in the playoff race until the end. I think that's all we hope for. Even if they come up short, which is going to be heartbreaking, and again, much like a lot of Diamondbacks losses this year, it could be more heartbreaking if they come close but fall short rather than just completely falling out of it and letting us all, have the last 2 weeks off without, actually having our hearts and our souls attached to this baseball team. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to come down to that series in San Diego against the Padres, and I cannot wait for it to do that because that's going to be a lot of fun. But we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we're going to preview the series with the Giants and take a look at which pitchers the Diamondbacks have going up against San Francisco. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, we already have talked about Pure Edibles and their amazing array of candies, but guys, it's like Pure Edibles is trying to make stuff specifically for me. And when I say that, I'm talking about their new collab with Mother Road Brewery, which makes one of the finest beers that you can find. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's called Tower Station IPA, and it is just perfection. And who says happy hour ever has to end? With Noble Road's new Tower Station IPA all-in-one, it's hoppy hour all the time. You see what we did there? The new offering captures the crisp citrus and piney hops of Arizona's favorite IPA, but with a smooth THC twist. No pouring, no waiting, just good tasting high whenever you want it. If you're in Arizona, swing by select dispensaries and grab your Tower Station AIO from Noble Road. Cheers to happy hour all day, every day. Go find yourself some Pure Edibles products, not just this great vape, but all of their wonderful candies from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. And of course, All Pro Shade Concepts still wants to help extend your outdoor living space, and they are the best company for you to do it with. They will hook you up with a custom fit awning. They have hundreds of designs and colors to choose from. They are HOA compliant, and they're very modern, very sleek. Might not be the motorized awnings you're used to, because these things are absolutely beautiful. Not only do they look really cool, like just in general, to me, it looks like your house is a transformer and it's becoming a robot. Like it's going from house stage to robot stage. I know the movie Big, they said nobody wants to play with buildings, but I disagree. But anyway, I digress. Go get yourself an extended outdoor living space with our friends at All Pro Shade Concepts. Not only can they hook you up with a custom motorized awning, they can also hook you up with roll down patio shades that can help keep your patio up to 20 degrees cooler, keep your home 20 degrees cooler, and block out those harmful UV rays. So check them out. You can give them a call at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com and right now to schedule your free estimate. And let me tell you, we thought that maybe the Diamondbacks were going to get away with having a few easy series here in the month of September. We did know at the time, or note at the time, that the only two teams that had sub 500 records left on their schedule were the Giants, who they had 6 games against, and the Twins, who they have 3. Well, you can remove the Giants from the sub 500 list now because they've been playing some incredible baseball themselves after they were sellers at the trade deadline. And they are another team that proved once again, even if you take parts away, you can still make your team better and they can still be competitive. Things do not have to be an absolute dumpster fire after the trade deadline. And both of these teams have proved that. But let's take a look at the Giants at a glance. Damon, the Giants got hot. I shouldn't let the Giants get hot. You can't let the Giants get hot. They are 72-71. They have a plus 26 run differential. They are 7-3 in their last 10. Offensively and defensively, not great. They have a 704 team OPS, which is good for 21st. But they have been putting it together lately, putting some runs on the board. Their outs above average, minus 21, which is 27th in Major League Baseball. So not great defense there either. Starting pitching ERA, not bad, middle of the pack. They have a 4.11 starting pitching ERA, which is tied for 16th. But their relief pitching ERA, once again, another NL West rival, Damon, that has a bullpen ERA that we would absolutely kill for at 3.33, which is second in Major League Baseball behind who? The San Diego Padres. Doesn't that suck?
Yeah, that sucks big time.
But again, the Diamondbacks have been very good, as we established earlier on the show, at putting up runs early, and that's what they're going to need to do here in this series against the Giants. It's going to be pivotal that they put runs on the board and try to avoid trying or needing to score late in games. They've been good at that too this season, so it's not like their offense has not been able to produce runs late. However, they do have to kind of get the job done early on, and it's going to be difficult because they are going up against a pair of really good pitchers for the San Francisco Giants. In game 1 of this series, we have Nabil Crismat going up against Logan Webb. Yikes.
Easy money.
Would have been, yeah, obviously. It's the legend Nabil Crismat that's going to be taking that one. It's got a 2.14 ERA and a very small sample size, but a 2.14 ERA and a 2-0 record. Nonetheless, you could say a small sample size, or you could just say Nabil Crismat is undefeated with the best ERA on the team. That's, choose the way that you want to word it. Both things can be true. Logan Webb, he is 13-9 this year with a 3.17 ERA and 194 strikeouts. In game 2, you have Zach Gallen going up against Robbie Ray, which is a really fun matchup of just like two of the Diamondbacks, like young aces that were a part of this franchise at one point, the past and kind of the present, and maybe also the past soon. Zach Gallen, 11-13 this year with a 4.77 ERA. Robbie Ray, 10-6 this year, 3.31 ERA. And then in the finale, Eduardo Rodriguez going up against Carson Seymour. Rodriguez was very good in this series against the Boston Red Sox. Erod just always steps up against teams that he either played for or used to play against in the past. Like if they're playing the Guardians, he's going to come out and shove. And if they're playing the Red Sox or the Tigers, he's going to kill it. But you can't, keep 6 runs off the board against the Colorado Rockies. Erod, 5.22 ERA this year, 7-8, going up against Seymour, who is 1-2 with a 4.25 ERA, 20 strikeouts for the youngster. So again, a chance there in the finale to maybe have the good Erod, not the Elrod pitching in that one, and then kind of a marquee matchup there in game 1 between Nabil Crismat and Logan Webb. You could argue ace versus ace for the two pitching staffs. But again, both of these, all of these teams, like it sucks to catch Logan Webb, but the Diamondbacks are going to have to get the job done against him. And like I said earlier, they're going to have to try to put runs on the board early and just do something big. I mean, again, just you can't expect this team to sweep every series, nor do they need to in order to get back in this race. They don't even need to necessarily win every single series, but they definitely need to get those wins when they can. And this one is, this series is huge for them. Making up some ground against the Twins is also huge. Then they have another 3-game series against the Giants. They also have a 3-game series against the Dodgers. And then they finish the year out there against the Padres. I think I'm missing one team there on their schedule as well. But yeah, I mean, they have a pretty much just division rivals up on deck for the rest of the season. And then the Twins. The Twins series is going to be interesting because I think people are going to lose their minds if they lose any of those games. And I will just remind you now that these are still all real athletes and real baseball teams that are still trying to win themselves. So they can't take any team lightly, but they definitely have to try to go into Minnesota and take all 3 of those games. Like, I don't say any of these series are must sweeps, but my God, that Twins team is in. It couldn't be in more of a downward spiral than they currently are, not only on field, but all the off field stuff that they have going on with the fans and the ownership over there. So it's just a time to take advantage of a team that probably doesn't give a crap about playing baseball games right now.
Yeah, and knowing the Diamondbacks, that means that's when we're going to get swept, and we're going to do really well in a lot of the other series.
The Phillies, that's the series I forgot.
Yeah.
They also have the Phillies up on deck. My goodness.
How Dbacks would it be for them to get swept by the Twins and then,
then
turn around and like beat the Phillies in a series?
Yeah, that would be it. But yeah, it is. Scott Mack says it right. It's an absolute gauntlet. It's unfair, and it's I guess it's fun.
It's the hardest strength of schedule in all of baseball, Derek. We've been over this. Like, we have the hardest schedule in the league this year. Combine that with, maybe the most major injuries in the league this year, at least from a pitching standpoint. And this is the result you get. Like, the fact that they're even 500 right now is pretty impressive when you think about it in that context.
You're right. Get Perdomo up the mountain. Let's get Perdomo up the mountain. You're absolutely right. I can't argue with that. I could be having the worst day of my entire life, and that video would make me feel better. I just have to be honest. But yeah, I mean, you're right. You got to commend them on being 500. You got to commend them on not giving up. You got to commend these young guys for coming together. You got to give a shout out to guys like Jake Woodford and Blaze Alexander for stepping up and being as good as they've been for this team when called upon, right? And I mean, some of these guys are guys that have been cast away themselves in some way, shape, or form. Some of these guys are guys that maybe didn't think they would see another opportunity, like James McCann. And these guys are, killing it in their roles, and they're really contributing to this team. The Diamondbacks just need that to continue to roll in order for them to have any hopes of making the postseason. I think no matter what, we should, as fans, be very excited about what they've done and the fact that they're not giving up. I think it's going to still be very hard to make the playoffs, but it's not impossible. And that's what's going to make at least the next 2 weeks fun. And that's also what makes this series with the Giants so important. The Giants are also not only playing an upset role, but they are trying to make the playoffs too. They are closer to a wild card spot than we are right now. So this is, like I said earlier, where the playoffs truly start for the Diamondbacks and and the Giants, quite frankly. But we are going to take a quick break, and then you know what day it is. You know what we do around here. We're going to get to your questions, and we're going to answer them. And we're going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, of course, nobody does it better than Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Me and Damon can testify to that. You can visit any one of their 4 locations: Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vicuiva, Santan Mountain, and you can experience the best that the Valley has to offer. And when I say that, I mean whatever you're looking for. Relaxation, it's the best place to go. If you're looking to have a staycation, incredible place to go. If you are looking for a wonderful night on the town, Go all in with their over 4,500 slots and their live table games, or you can catch all the action at their BetMGM Sportsbook. No matter what, you can do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more detail. Do not miss out on the unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that they provide to all of us, including me and Damon, when we go over there and bet on red. And always bet on red. That's my best advice. That's my best piece of advice that I can give you. Of course, we thank Gila River for always providing us with an amazing space for us to do our live shows from. So thank you to them very much for that. Also, big shout out to Desert Financial Credit Union. I can't get words out sometimes, and sometimes it might run the risk of being a curse word violation. But shout out to our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union.
I don't think you ever took your hand off the chess piece on that one, Derek. I think you put it down where you were going to make your move, and then you were like,
Thank you. I just needed an official ruling on it, but I never want to disrespect the fine folks that got me started on my home ownership journey, and I thank them for that. I was lost, and thanks to Desert Financial, I'm in my home. And when you're going through a financial kind of catastrophe like I am, there's nothing that is more, it gives you more peace of mind than knowing that, you locked yourself into a mortgage and you got that payment and your payment is settled for the next 30 years. You know exactly what you're paying. And thanks to Desert Financial, got myself a good interest rate and got that home ownership dream started. You can look to Desert Financial to help you fulfill whatever financial goal you are trying to reach. You can look to them for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. Plus, when you open a free checking account online right now, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 today. Damon, I think that it is time for us to do the thing that we do here on Monday. You guys know what we do on Monday. You also know that every year on this show is the year of the snake. Every year is the year of is our year, right? Is our year. It's definitely not their year after yesterday, but it's our year for sure. Of course, every month on this show is Hispanic Heritage Month. Every week on this show is Shark Week. Every day on this show, Earth Day, because Damon and I recycle. But on Mondays, we do a little thing we call the mailbag. Damon, let's go to the mailbag.
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, wow, my mailbox.
I love that song. By the way, shout out to our guy, Megaran. His birthday. He just spent his birthday in Paris. This cretin. Who does that? Who just spends his birthday in Paris?
Goats do that.
They really do. They really do. But happy birthday to him. Also, happy birthday to my pal, Scott Bondelli. This grown man literally sends me a voice message on my birthday every year, playing me guitar and singing me happy birthday. So the least I could do is wish him a happy birthday. I have no talent besides
on your stupid podcast.
Yeah, on my stupid podcast. So happy birthday, Scott. Love you, buddy. But let's get to the mailbag. Damon, what do we got?
First question comes from the leadoff hitter, Travis Moore. Says, can we seriously just consider Blaze the replacement for Lourdes next season? He shows range and the arm is obviously an asset. Corbin, McCarthy, Thomas, and Carroll as your 4 outfield players sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds good to me, too. I don't hate that at all.
I think he meant to say Blaze, obviously.
Blaze, because he has Corbin in there twice, right? So, Blaze, McCarthy, Thomas, and Carroll as your 4 outfielders. Why not? I think one of the biggest problems with Blaze taking space over at second base, it's fine. He can play second base. But the problem there is that it really doesn't utilize his cannon of an arm, which is really on display at third base and in the outfield. But what we saw from Blaze this weekend was special. And Damon, I think our other question is basically the same thing. I wanted to give a shout out to him as well.
I believe Austin here says, should Blaze be everyday left fielder next year?
Yeah, because this is what is on people's mind. After seeing him do what he did this weekend, I think we can all agree, right? And this is no disrespect to Lourdes Gurriel, but Lourdes doesn't make that catch in a million years.
He's not nearly as athletic as Blaze is.
And I don't even know why, because Lourdes is taller and Lourdes has the athletic ability absolutely to jump up and rob someone of a home run.
I think the tall factor actually kind of hurts him a little bit in that aspect, just because sometimes it's harder to be like that quick and agile and he's broader. Blaze is a little bit skinnier. Like, he's just, I don't know. Blaze just his athleticism just pops out at you constantly when you're watching him play baseball.
Well, and the thing about Blaze is that I don't know any player besides maybe Archie Bradley, our friend, our pal, our co-host, that thrives in the spotlight the way that Blaze does. He is in what wrestling we would call a blue chipper, Damon. He's a superstar from the first day you see him as a young guy. And I mean, when he made that catch and he wanted the crowd to get loud, and he throws the ball in and he has to just scream out of excitement into his own glove, I was ready to run through 10 brick walls stacked together back to back. Not just one, all of them. I was ready to run through all the walls in my house. But as you know, I already have a water main leak, and that would have made things already that are terrible for me substantially worse. So I chose not to do that. But I think that sometimes life happens. Life finds a way. And I think it did in this situation where the Diamondbacks may have just out of nowhere solved their own problem of what they do without Lourdes. And not only did they solve it, but they might have just taken a step up. Right? Blaze is new to this. He's going to make mistakes. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with him being overzealous and doing some of the things like we've seen him do where he went to go dive for that ball in center field and missed it. Right? That's going to happen because Blaze is going to go all out. You know, and maybe that's a bigger concern, is that I'm more worried that Blaze might hurt himself going all out, because we did see him almost smash his face into the outfield wall trying to make a play over by the pool. Right? But experience, once again, will make him an even better left fielder, outfielder than he already is.
Yeah, he's going to be aggressive like that, but and I think that we want him to be, especially with, you know, the place we're in this season. You got to take risks. But that being said, like, I think he's going to settle in and start realizing what balls he can get to and what balls he can't get to, because he's used to playing infield his whole life.
Yeah. Exactly.
He doesn't know exactly what his range is in the outfield yet, especially at a major league level.
These guys are all playing different positions. Even Jordan Lawlar, we saw him make 2 crucial mistakes in that finale, right? And that is all experience. It's all about the fact that he does not play third base. He was describing to us the other day, that thing about, you know, it being more about forward, backward than ranging left to right, but it still requires ranging left to right. I don't care what you say. Like, you as a third baseman still need to go sideways laterally, but it is more about playing deep and coming up on it, or, you know, playing short and backing up when a ball's coming at you and stuff, right? So
yeah, reaction versus like lateral movement.
Right.
Ryoma says it perfectly here. Like, Dave McKay is going to mold Blaze into an absolute beast of an outfielder.
Exactly.
Because that ceiling on Blaze, we've seen it in a week's time. It's so damn high.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And Candace said, I mean, you and I talked about it. You and I stayed here until almost 2:00 in the morning cutting us short, just because of how pumped we were about Blaze talking about looking up guys like Vladimir Guerrero and Roberto Clemente, one of my personal favorites of all time. And Candace says Blaze looking up throw highlights and wanting to be one of the best. It just shows his passion to continue to grow and be the best. And Candace, that's not just Blaze looking him up now. This is what Blaze used to do just when he was a kid. Because remember, he is still very young, and him being a kid was like just a blink of an eye ago. But that's, again, what makes it so much fun to watch him develop. Let's be honest, this solves a problem. It sucks that Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is not on the field. And again, this team is better with Lourdes out there, but by having Blaze now have an everyday spot that he could potentially play, and allowing Jordan Lawlar to play every day over there at third base, you really feel like it's going to give these guys a chance to blossom and to contribute to this team. Jordan Lawlar's at-bats have been great. I mean, even if the results haven't been there, you're really seeing him make hard contact and drive the ball to the warning track. It's very similar, like with what we're starting to see out of Tyler Locklear. It's going to take a little time, but when these things click and these balls start falling for them, they're going to be in a similar position that Blaze is. Blaze isn't even doing like amazing offensively, but he's contributing. And that's what's great about it. It's just his combined efforts between his defense and his offense. And that goes for when he plays third base too, right? He has a cannon over there, and we're just seeing him absolutely fire throws on the dot over to first base. So his versatility is impressive. Everything about him is impressive, but nothing is more impressive than his attitude. He's just a great guy to be around. He's an amazing human being. Like, he's just so sincerely energetic and in love with the game of baseball. It's fun to be around. And he's the kind of guy that I think is energy, and the way he loves the game is infectious. It really is. What else we got, Damon? We got another question? I think we got a few of them.
Yeah, we do have a few more questions here, but this one's going to round out this segment, Derek. Cesar, who's here in the chat today, says, am I crazy, or do others also see the Dbacks completely unravel before our watery eyes whenever something doesn't go their way? For example, in yesterday's 7th inning, the botched rundown of Story led to multiple errors / mistakes, and the team just collapsed. For the love of God, why?
So well put. He's so accurate. I mean, I think I said this about Zach Gallen probably at least 4 times this year, where you can tell Zach Gallen, if it was socially acceptable, would turn around and curse out Ketel Marte in some of these instances, or Geraldo Perdomo, or whoever, right? But he just kind of, like, you see his body language, you see his shoulder shrug, and I don't mean he's out of place to do so. Like, it's frustrating. We as fans want to curse these guys out when we see them make an error and botch a play when there's 2 outs and it keeps the inning going. But unfortunately, that's part of the game, right? Like, you're never 100% out of an inning until that 3rd out is recorded and you've gotten back to the dugout. I do think that, that it requires a maturity factor, and it requires you to kind of be okay with making mistakes, and then instead of letting those make you unravel, more go the other way, right? Like, I was impressed at least that Jordan Lawlar delivered with an RBI single in the following inning after making those mistakes. It might have been too little too late at that point, but overall it just still felt like, again, it was there's some maturity there that he was able to come back and contribute and try to make up for, coughing up the lead, right? So I do think that you're right, though, and I think that might be something. I don't know. Again, I don't feel like these guys are immature, but I just mean, like, you do have a very young team out there, and the importance of experience and veteran experience is knowing that you can make mistakes and still be okay, right? You can give up a lead and you can still get it back, and they did. They tied the game back up, but unfortunately the bullpen unraveled there themselves in the 9th inning. I don't know. I don't know what kind of ripple effect it has on the team, but Torey agreed with you. Torey did say that during his post-game speech yesterday that he did feel like that exact moment you specified in your question was the moment that caused this team to just unravel. And it's unfortunate. It's something that they need to work on, because that's the only way you're going to win in big moments, like in the playoffs and in the World Series, is being able to overcome those mistakes and hang on or fight back to win a baseball game. But before we get on to some more questions, again, I did just want to remind you guys of our incredible supporters club and also our partnership with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. Make sure, if you have any interest at all, by the way, click on our link, go to their website, check out all of the amazing options to be a big, because I'll tell you, it is one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done in my life, and it's a great way to just not only give back but make a huge difference in someone's life. We sometimes want to do volunteer work, sometimes we want to do things. I've volunteered my time quite a bit, and I have at times felt like my volunteer contributions weren't exactly being used in the best way, and sometimes that is how people feel. And of course, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, this is not what they are about. They are about making an impact on directly on a young person's life. And of course, you can help do that by signing up to be a big. So make sure to check that out. Also, like I said earlier, our supporters club is live. We're launching our supporters club for you guys, the people that make our show so wonderful. This is a great way to support PHNX directly. You can sign up on our YouTube channel for $5 a month. You get a badge next to your name in the live chat and the comments. Badges update over time with how long you've been a member: 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Founders badges will be available. And of course, you can join right now to become one of the first with the long 10-year badges. This will also give you custom access to custom emojis to use in the live chat and the comments. And you can join the Hall of Fame tier for $15 a month to unlock bonus content, including our behind the scene vlogs, which will be launching soon. And I'm very scared about that, Damon. That does not bode well for me specifically for some reason in this office. I think there's just going to be a lot of like home improvement footage of me drilling stuff and poorly putting TVs up on walls and such. So think of it just as a fun way to support PHNX and get some great stuff back. It's not a paywall or essential content, but we're going to try to bring you some fun stuff.
If you're a super chatter, this is something to get in on. I mean, hold on to one of those super chats.
Absolutely.
Sign up to be a supporters club member. Get yourself some cool badges and emoticons, as Derek says, in the process. But also, if you're in the chat and you have some ideas for different badges or something that we could do to make you want to be a supporter club even more, in the supporters club even more, or if you already are a member and you want, like say some inside joke on the show as a badge, let us know and we'll do our best to make that happen.
We'll get a little Killer Rex with a like X through it,
I was like trying to think of a way to do
anti-Killer Rex
to do Killer Rex, and I was thinking like maybe just like his avatar with like, but changing like the shirt words that doesn't, instead of saying like I was wrong or whatever, it just says like kill I love Tori Lavolo or something like that.
Tori apologist, that kind of thing. Tori Shill, but that's picture Killer Rex. We've given him far too much airtime.
Maybe pasta, like a pasta emoticon, because me and Derek eat pasta at the Lavolo's house every Sunday night. Of course, everyone knows that.
I mean, it's a great meal. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand how this is like conflicting with my view stance on what an amazing, wonderful human being this man is. But his meatballs are delightful. Damon, got more questions in the mailbag?
We absolutely do, Derek. Let's move on. Michael Rokicki says, who would win a home run derby between Jordan Lawlar, Jose Herrera, Tyler Locklear, and Ryan Nelson? Seriously, Tyler Locklear would destroy them. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's no doubt, right? I mean, Tyler Locklear went on a stretch where he was like had a 2,000 OPS in the minors. I mean,
if he's up there free swinging and he knows that they're being lobbed in fastballs, he has the most power by far.
I want to see Ryan Nelson in this situation, quite frankly. I think Ryan Nelson could rake. I definitely want to see what he could do. But yeah, no, there's no doubt in my mind that Tyler Locklear is the right answer there. And Cesar, I said his meatballs. That's what I said. His meatballs are delicious.
Scotty Mack has with the idea of the century. We do like a big heart with Tori Lavolo's face right in the middle of it.
Perfect. That's perfect. Scott Mack is also right about Tyler Locklear. He is pretty jacked. He is a big fella. So Ryoma says Ryan Nelson gets their vote. So let's go.
Jacob, I actually think there's more likely of a chance that Ryan Nelson gets third place than Jose Herrera gets third place in said home run derby.
Yeah, I agree with that. What else we got, Damon?
Next question here is from the True Rugnar, who asks, hypothetically, if a man were to curse our beloved team into having the worst injury year in history with 6 words, is arson off the table? If so, how about stealing one of his dogs?
I don't like this. I don't like either one of these things. I think these are far, like, arson that doesn't seem like a comparable punishment for cursing a baseball team. As you know, my stance on this is
are you the person that cursed the baseball team?
I don't know, but if it's me, then definitely I would prefer if arson was off the table. I also definitely don't want you stealing one of my dogs.
Well, maybe if
quite
Cosmo
frankly,
upsets
I am very anti-stealing pets, Damon.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, we've been the victim of a pet thievery just recently, and I'm not going to sign off on the idea of stealing someone's dogs. Look,
Derek, you are known to, however, like maybe if you can find out where Derek lives and go outside his house, there is a distinct possibility Cosmo gets kicked out at some point, and you can kind of just call him over to your car and maybe have yourself a brand new dog.
Look, I don't like talking about how I kick my dog out of my house when he deserves it, but I think more people should. And I think dogs would be a bit more appreciative of the homes they have if people were kicking their animals out more likely and telling them that if they're going to pee on the patio, that they can go pee on someone else's patio because you're not going to do it on mine, bub. You know? So I gotta send the message somehow. He doesn't get the point when I yell at him. He just stares at me with his big meathead. And if you want to come take him, I dare you to, because he is a ferocious animal and he will not be taken without a fight. But back to the topic, no. I think at the most you can maybe Visine this person. And now Visine is where you take the eye drops and you put it in their drink, and I think it gives them diarrhea. So, but there was an episode of House where I think it killed somebody. So if that happens, then you're culpable for murder, and that is definitely worse than arson or kidnapping their dog. So I don't know in what direction you want to go, but I would just suggest maybe not taking revenge on a person for said hypothetical curse of a baseball team and giving them the worst injuries ever, because that's not how the injuries happen. The injuries happen because of, as we all know, the pitch clock. Damon, what else do we got in the mailbag today?
Our last question here comes from Zabe, and Zabe asks, settle an office debate. Which is more annoying, the Lamb Chop song or Baby Shark?
What does she mean, the Lamb Chop song? I like, for a point of reference here, there's only 2 Lamb Chop songs. Well, hold on. First of all, we do not allow any Sherry Lewis slander in this house, okay? Sherry Lewis is an American icon, and she should be protected at all costs. But however, I'm conflicted here, Damon. On one hand, Baby Shark is absolutely an all-time banger. No doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt about it. Baby Shark is in my head right now, and I'm singing it, and I'm dancing internally, and I'm having a great time. It can go on forever. You can make up new editions of it. You can add other animals or other like people to the song. It's a great song. Okay. But again, Baby Shark is an all-time banger. There's no way we're talking about the Lamb Chop theme song, because that too is an all-time banger. Lamb chops play along where kids come to play along. It starts off with a rap, Damon. The song starts off with a child rap. So the song that they must be meaning is the song that never ends. It just goes round and round, my friends. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and we continue singing it forever just because this is the song that never ends. It just goes around and round, my friends. Some people actually started singing it, not knowing what it was, and we continue to sing it forever just because this is the song that never ends.
I just had to do some research, Derek. I had to roll back the tail of the tape. Just listen to the song that doesn't end.
Yeah.
Easily Baby Shark clears. I mean, it's not even close. And yeah, it can get a little bit annoying. It's incredibly catchy. I'm sure after
that's the problem.
4 hours,
Shark.
4 hours of it being annoying. Stuck in your head is brutal.
That's the problem.
But in the moment, I'd rather listen to Baby Shark 100 times over.
It's a jam. It's a bop.
Grandpa Shark do 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 do.
Grandpa Shark do do. I don't even know if we're allowed to sing that. We're going to get DMCA'd for already what we've done. But Baby Shark is way better. The song that never ends is a song that never ends. No song should never end. Just like this show should never go past 60 minutes, quite frankly. But
Jacob's thoughts are huge.
New
here.
dad.
Yeah.
New dad. New two-time dad. Two-time reigning dad champion. Definitely going to have some thoughts on the music. By the way, this is my opportunity once again to remind you that Mega Ran does in fact make the greatest children's music that exists on this planet. If you ever want to actually go get yourself some solid children's music, check out Buddy's Magic Toy Box and Buddy's Magic Treehouse, 2 albums that you can get, and at least the second one is most likely going to be Grammy nominated. Keep it locked for that. That's some early news, but I'm going to say it's worthy of being Grammy nominated. Jacob Franklin says, nothing better than my crazy 2-year-old running around the house pretending to be a shark. There it goes. Sharks, dinosaurs. I like when little kids pretend to be zombies. That's my favorite thing because they're just hilarious. And they know they're all, it's like, you're 3. Why do you know what a zombie is? And that's delightful too. But
I'm going to be a hater here, Derek, but I like when kids take naps.
Oh, Damon. Oh, Damon.
Enough of your stupid snot driveling nose children.
No, you monster. You're a monster. Shout out to Candace Montoya. Let's go. Is this our first? This is our first member.
I believe it is our first member of the PHNX Dbacks show here.
Okay.
And who better than Candace?
Who better than Candace?
Here every single day.
No troublemaker.
A staple of this chat. Thank you so much, Candace.
We appreciate you. Cesar says, I hope the Blaze Alexander home run robbery becomes a top now moment card. Shout out to, by the way, Groundhog Mama. She hooked me up with a couple of, Damon and I up with a couple of tops now cards for Diamondbacks games. And it is absolutely delightful to have those. Even if tops now cards don't become outrageously expensive or I guess worth money, I still love having those moments just because we all shared them here together. That's what this is all about. This is not about the postseason. It's about the journey. It's about the friends we made along the way. And that's what we're experiencing right now. So big shout out to Candace. Thank you to you all for your questions. We've confirmed, by the way, the final question for Zabe, which is Baby Shark is a better song than the song that never ends. The song that never ends by far is the more annoying song. But again, no Sherry Lewis slander in this house. I will not allow it. We do appreciate you guys stopping by, though. Thank you so much for your time, as always. We do have this big game tonight against the San Francisco Giants starting. What time does this start at? 6:10? 5:10, Damon? What time now? I have to just sit here and hang around this wonderful office the whole time and just watch baseball.
6:45, my good sir.
Right.
And yeah, huge game for the Diamondbacks, right? Because I mean, obviously we know the Giants, Diamondbacks, half game away from each other, but get off on the right start in this series and let's win another one, man. Let's just keep brick by brick. Like that's what we've been talking about.
Brick by brick. And especially, you're not wrong. You made some mistakes in the finale. I like that Torey Lovullo came off as being as angry as he was about them losing that game. I really do, because it felt like he had more intensity than I've seen out of him all year long. And I think, again, things are going in a very good direction. So you hate to see them stumble the way they did and lose a game based on mistakes being made the way that those mistakes were made in that game. Hopefully this is a wake-up call, right? Like, look at how close you were to closing that series out, getting that sweep. You can't mess around, because the minute that you take your eye off this, this ultimate prize, you start making mistakes like you made in that game, and losses start piling up, right?
The margin for error for this team is extremely thin right now.
It really is.
And you pretty much have to play perfect baseball if you want to have any shot at making the postseason. And, that game was not perfect baseball. It's games like that are going to prohibit them from making the postseason this season. But Derek, I don't know if you saw back here, I just had a smile, the biggest smile of the day, wrapped around my face. And it was solely because I looked at the D-backs offensive statistics, and I looked at the runs batted in leader, and just 91 RBI for my goat, Jerry Perdomo.
Jerry P.
284 average, 17 bombs. I mean, I would have never thought that was possible. And it genuinely just puts a smile on my face to see him thrive like that.
Justin Huddleston in the chat says, keep Blaze at third, not Jordan. Well, I mean, again, the one thing that I would say keep in mind is that there was a period of time where Blaze was making a lot of mistakes when he was playing infield defensively.
Much worse than Lawlar's, I would argue.
Right. Jordan Lawlar's defense at third has been fine. He just made mistakes in yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was one of those bad, definitely a bad defensive game for him. But
he has 4 errors this season. Definitely way too much for the small sample size of time.
Absolutely.
But I think that it looks good when it's working. Yeah. And Blaze was I remember it was last season, right at the beginning of the year when Jerry was out, when he was playing short. There was zero confidence in Blaze at shortstop at all. And now we all feel a lot better about him because he got his feet wet. He got, ready to go in Major League Baseball. And I think Jordan Lawlar, hopefully we can see some of the same.
And they found positions that really complement his strengths. And that's one of the things about, Blaze playing third or Blaze playing outfield. But again, we got to... It sucks because, the Diamondbacks went really quickly from, hey, development time for guys like Lawlar and Lawlar to being like, well, hey, we need you guys to dial it in because we're in a playoff race. You can't screw up and you can't make these mistakes. So it's going to be fun to see how the young guys respond. Hopefully they respond well. The Diamondbacks do now have a 2% chance of making the playoffs. The Giants have a 2.7% chance of making the playoffs. Let's switch that after this series. Let's bump the Diamondbacks up above 5%. Let's kick the Giants out of here with a big series win. looking forward to that starting tonight. And again, we thank you guys so much for your time today. Appreciate you stopping by. We will be back tomorrow with a post-game show and hopefully a fixed water main at my house. So make sure to keep it locked here for that. Until then, we thank you guys so much for stopping by. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog with a DAWG at the end. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are all Damon's Dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at, look, I'm so locked in. I messed the whole thing up, and then I just robotically go into more. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Damon, thank you for working 100 days in a row. You are the true MVP of PHNX. Big thank you to Bo Brock for his fantasy football team being terrible. Just a little bit worse than mine. I would have lost to every single team in the league except for Bo, and that is who I played this week. So,
that 1-0 feeling, Derek.
Oh, that 1-0 feeling. We're changing Bo's name, by the way. It's now Owen Brock because he's 0-1.
Wow.
Got his ass. Anyway, we thank you guys for stopping by.
Bazinga.
We will see you tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Behave yourselves. Behave yourself, Candace. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Blaze steals home runs and not snakes.
We all silly like the mayor.